Black and gold fans, college football fans, welcome back or welcome in to the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog, where we examine, discuss, honor, and celebrate all things college football across the entire college football landscape, but with a very special emphasis on our beloved black and gold squads of the Missouri Tigers and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Welcome back, guys. I'm your host, Blair Parks. Holla at you, boy. It's great to be back here with you live in the studio, aka my basement. This is my Week 11 review and recap episode. Wow, coming off of Week 11, guys, buku happenings across the entire college football landscape. Things this happened, that happened, which are going to shape everything moving forward, especially within conference title races, college football playoff participation. A lot of things went down, and actually, based on some of the results, some of those major conference title games, the matchups have now been officially set. First and foremost, both of our black and gold squads were in action over the weekend during Week 11. Iowa at home defeated their arch rival to the north, the Wisconsin Badgers, 24-10, capturing the Heartland Trophy in this year's edition of the rivalry game. They became bowl eligible, and they're also, with Illinois' loss at home to Purdue, Iowa finds themselves very, very much alive in the wild, wacky Big Ten West Division race. It's going to come down to the last weekend to see who hoists the championship trophy and finds themselves back in Indianapolis. And our Hawkeyes are very much right there. Went out, and they need Illinois to lose one more game, and they find themselves returning to Indianapolis. On the other side of it, the Missouri Tigers, well, they played Tennessee in Knoxville, falling 66-24 to the Volunteers. I mean, just really outmanned, outmatched, outgunned, outmaneuvered, everything. I mean, Tennessee is looking to finish as strong as possible. Currently, they're in the 5 spot, looking to get an at-large bid for the college football playoff. So it was no surprise that Coach Heupel was never going to call off the Dogs. They have to look good in victory, especially their final 2 games. I mean, they've got Missouri, and now I know they have Vanderbilt, and they have somebody else who's pretty much a walkover. So they have got to look the part here in order to try to get that number 4 seed during conference championship weekend if a couple teams get knocked off here or there. So tough day to be a Missouri Tiger fan. I mean, tough day. I'm definitely going to have more on the Missouri Tigers here later this episode, so make sure you stick around. And before I say anything else, I just want to welcome you all here. For those of you who have been here before, who are members of the Black and Gold family, you've subscribed, thank you for your continued support and your attention, your time. And for those of you who are joining me for the very first time, welcome. Please subscribe, like, share, comment. I always say this each and every episode, guys, that I highly encourage, welcome, and invite your participation. I want to hear from you, the college football fandom universe. You don't have to be a black and gold fan to enjoy this channel. I mean, it definitely would help a little bit, but everybody is welcomed here. Big Ten fans, SEC fans, Mountain West fans, Missouri Valley fans, every college football fan is welcome here. Let's continue to spread the word, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, your family members to check me out here in the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. I definitely think you will enjoy it. You will walk away feeling informed and also entertained. That's my job. I do this as a hobby, so thank you for allowing me to do this on the weekly with you. A common average Joe who just loves spreading and sharing his love and passion for everything college football with you, the viewer, the Black and Gold family. So let's continue to gather some momentum. I need more subscribers. I'm looking for 200 subscribers by the time championship weekend rolls around. That's 2 or 3 weeks, guys. So we got to get on it. And please comment. I promise you, I will take the time to respond to each and every one of you individually, thanking you for your participation. So please subscribe, comment, like, share. And as I mentioned a little bit ago, one thing too about the Iowa-Wisconsin game, I did do an instant reaction and recap episode. It was posted a couple days ago. Please feel free to check it out if you want to hear more of a breakdown about the Iowa-Wisconsin game and what that means to the Big Ten West race. I lay it out. I put it there to you beautifully in a way you can understand. Check it out. I don't think you'll like it. I know you'll love it. So check out that episode if you already haven't, or if you would like. As I mentioned, some major conference championship games via the results in Week 11, some of them have been set. The ACC title game will have Clemson representing the Atlantic Division. They will be taking on North Carolina from the Coastal, who got a big win at Wake Forest during Week 11. The SEC title game is also set. Georgia, who won at Mississippi State, they clinched the East Division. And LSU, who barely got by and survived in Fayetteville against Arkansas, they won, so they will represent the SEC West. TCU, a big road victory, a team that, guys, plenty of people out there continue to doubt this team. I am completely bought in. Because, by the way, not to, pat myself on the... But this guy right here, preseason, picked TCU to get to the Big 12 title game. And with their win over against Texas over the weekend, they did punch their ticket to the Big 12 title game. And their opponent is TBD. Depends on what plays out in the Big 12. Which to me is the deepest, most competitive conference this season, without a doubt, in the nation. Shockers happened in the Pac-12. Both Oregon and UCLA lost at home. Oregon got bounced by Washington, the Huskies, in that big regional rivalry game. And UCLA lost in the Rose Bowl to Arizona. Yikes, I didn't see that game coming. But the Washington game, definitely saw the potential for that, even though I did pick Oregon to win that game. Illinois, wow. In the Big Ten West, Illinois has now seen its lead absolutely evaporate. 2 weeks ago, they lost at home against a mediocre Michigan State team. And Saturday, they lost at home also to Purdue. So now the Fighting Illini have lost their stranglehold on the Big Ten West division. Now it's opened up for 3, even maybe 4 teams. Mathematically, Minnesota has the longest shot. Purdue, Iowa, and Illinois are all right there. But every one of those teams, guys, need help from the other team. It's really awesome how it's coming down to in that division. My division, if I must say. And the big non-Power 5 matchup between UCF and Tulane, the only 2 ranked non-Power 5 teams, both within the American Athletic. They met up over the weekend, and UCF downed Tulane, the Green Wave, in Tulane. And with that victory, UCF and Gus Malzahn, the Gus Bus, they now have strengthened their position to clinch that New Year's 6 bowl berth, but they still got to take care of business. But big win for UCF moving forward. And last thing, we also, guys, saw a record drop over the weekend. Something happened due to one individual player's efforts. They now have rewritten the NCAA football record book. Definitely will tell you more about that later on in this episode. That's what we call right there, guys, a cliffhanger. I'll be talking about that individual later on during my 3 cheers segment from Week 11. So definitely stay around for that. So what's on tap for this episode today, guys. The usual review and recap episode. First segment is going to be me doing my best playing the college football stock market. It's this week's edition of Buy, Sell, or Hold, where I'll give you 6 hot takes and thoughts about things that have come into my mind after week 11, letting you know if I buy, sell, or hold that thought, that comment, that statement. After that will be one of my favorite segments, guys. A new segment this year on the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. The good, the bad, and the ugly from week 11. And then finally, it will be the aforementioned My 3 Cheers segment from week 11, which that one, guys, if it's your first time with me, I think there's so many great stories that go undocumented, uncovered. They slip between the cracks. These are stories, whether it's about an individual player or a unit, a team, a community, a campus, so many different examples. These are those stories that I have to give some publicity to and bring some attention to because they absolutely deserve it. So you definitely want to hang around for that, or else you're especially going to miss the record breaker. The new record holder that we have now in NCAA football and the history of this great sport. So that's what's on tap today, guys. So please, once again, subscribe, click the button, like, share, comment. I want to hear from you, the Black and Gold fan, college football fans in general, all of you fans and fanatics. Let me know what you think about my commentary. And if there's something you'd like me to bring up, or whether you agree or disagree, all I ask is, guys, we just be adult-like. And I know we all can act appropriately. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get it. What do you say? All right. So today, my first segment, as I mentioned, is me playing the stock market. I just need to wait for that opening bell. I will step up, go to Wall Street, and do my best Jordan Belfort impersonation. Let's wait for the bell. There it is. It's time. The stock market is open. Buy, sell, hold, low, high. Here it is. All right. So let's go ahead now and check out my first hot take for you guys. And feel free to comment to each one of these individually if you like. Georgia is now the undisputed #1 team in the nation after acing their test this weekend when they won at Mississippi State. And guys, I picked Georgia to lose this game because exactly that. Georgia coming off that big emotional win over Tennessee, they dominated that game. Classic letdown spot, classic look ahead to when they have to travel to Kentucky next week. So Georgia is now the undisputed #1 best team in the nation. That is an absolute buy, guys. There is no hesitation. I kind of challenged these guys a little bit thinking, are they really that good? Obviously they had that, or they still have, I should say, that big non-conference victory over Oregon, 49-3. That's pretty big. But, they got challenged by Missouri, almost lost that game. They didn't play any of the superpowers from the SEC West. No Alabama, no Ole Miss, no LSU. So I definitely challenged them. I was a little apprehensive, but the last few weeks, guys, they have absolutely shown me I am a believer. They are the defending national champions overall, so they are the best team in the nation until somebody defeats them. That's how I look at the Georgia Bulldogs right now. My next hot take is the Alabama-Ole Miss game. Great game on Saturday. Alabama survived on the road at Ole Miss, largely in part due to the heroics of the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, quarterback Bryce Young. The guy, he's not on my Heisman Trophy short list this season, guys. They've got 2 losses, but wow, he continues to amaze. And when you need a play, guys, you can't really bet against him. But that being said, Bryce Young is the most impactful, best offensive player ever at Alabama under the GOAT, Coach Nick Saban? That is a very bold statement, and guys, oh boy, I'm going to hold that. All right, there has been so many big-time, impactful offensive players. I mean, think about all of the Heisman Trophy winners under Nick Saban at Alabama. The running backs, Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry. You've got the quarterbacks, Tua. You've got the quarterback for the Patriots, who I know didn't win a Heisman. You've got Devonta Smith, all the other wide receivers, Julio Jones. I mean, Jalen Waddle. They've had so many big-time offensive players and weapons. It's hard to say Bryce Young might be the best, most impactful, but if I would have worded this differently, I'm just going to add this right. I'm going to go ahead and call a little audible here. Omaha, I'm going to call a little audible. I think if I would have worded this differently, guys, let's say I would have worded it as he's the most meaningful offensive player under Nick Saban, then I probably would have bought it. That's a buy. Because you take Bryce Young off this team, guys, they're going to lose at Ole Miss to where at that point they're going to have 3 losses on the season. So is he the most meaningful player on Alabama? I would have bought. That's a buy. But me saying it as the most impactful, best offensive player ever at Alabama under Saban, I've got to hold it because it's just, that's something that I would really have to look at. So I'm going to hold that statement for now. But yeah, Mac Jones. Mac Jones, the quarterback at New England, who should be replaced by my guy Bailey Zappi moving forward, by the way. That's just my take on that. So let me know what you think about that hot take. My third hot take from Week 11, with Oregon and UCLA losing at home against Washington and Arizona, does the Pac-12 now find itself eliminated and shut out yet again from college football playoff contention and participation? I'm going to sell that. All right, there's still hope for the Pac-12. I mean, USC is still sitting there, guys, with only 1 loss. UCLA now has 2 losses. Those 2 teams meet up this weekend, the battle for LA in the Rose Bowl, even though it will be a heavily favored USC crowd. I mean, USC is the biggest ticket in LA as far as college football. So USC definitely has a shot to get to the college football playoff. And even though they've got 2 losses now, 1 to Oregon, or 1 to Georgia, 1 to Washington, Oregon is still there. But I really think Utah, guys, and please, don't give me that, oh, Blair, you're biased. Well, maybe I am just a tad, because A, I love Coach Kyle Whittingham, but B, I picked Utah preseason to be one of my 4 college football playoff participants. Actually picked them to reach the national title game, actually. But here, Utah is sitting there with 2 losses. You know, 1 loss at UCLA isn't bad, but they do have the victory over USC. That's who gave them their 1 loss. But Utah really has that average poor loss now. The opening week loss against Florida at the Swamp, guys, I still don't know how that happened. I just don't. But Utah sitting there still in a very good position. If they went out, defeat Oregon, and this week Utah travels to Eugene to take on Oregon. If Utah goes there and wins, puts another loss on Oregon, I think at that point, Utah should be the highest ranked Pac-12 team, even if USC wins, because Utah beat them head-to-head, even though they would have that loss to Florida. So, nope, the Pac-12 still has plenty of opportunity, chance, and hope, guys. So I'm selling that they are eliminated at this point. Number 4, is North Carolina freshman quarterback Drake May the best unknown, untalked about player in the nation? That is an absolute buy. I mean, guys, this guy is absolutely phenomenal for a freshman quarterback. He absolutely, spoiler alert, he's going to be on my Heisman Trophy shortlist from here out. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves, guys. You can say he plays in the ACC, yes, which is down, and especially the ACC Coastal Division. But North Carolina, as I said, they clinched the spot. They won the division. They're going to be in the ACC title game. But still, here they are, 9-1. Guys, that one loss against a pretty good, a solid Notre Dame team. But his numbers, guys, I mean, listen to these numbers. He's thrown for 3,412 yards, 34 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions, and he's run for 5 more, so he now has 39 total touchdowns on the season. And guys, guess what? That leads all of those categories. I mean, this guy is the best unknown, best kept secret in the nation. A lot of people do know about him, but if you were just to look at profiles and hide their names, hide their pictures, don't say what team they're on, and just say numbers, this guy has got to win the Heisman Trophy. It's that simple, guys. I mean, even though I still think it's going to be Hendon Hooker or C.J. Stroud, but guys, everybody's overlooking quarterback Drake May. So that is an absolute big-time buy. I mean, I am all on board, and I might even pick North Carolina, you never know, to defeat Clemson in the ACC title game. Have to wait a few weeks for that for my official pick. Number 5, will a one-loss Big 12 champion or Big 12 runner-up TCU, so let's say they lose one of their last 2 games or they lose in the Big 12 title game, will a one-loss champion or runner-up TCU team, they will not make the college football playoff field? I think I know really what the answer is, guys, but I'm going to say sell. I really think they would get shut out if they lose one game, but I'm selling, guys, because TCU, I mean, you have to give credit where credit is due, and here's why. Over the weekend, they defeated ranked Texas down in Austin. I mean, I think the final score was 17-10. But with that victory, guys, TCU has now defeated 5 ranked opponents at the time during this season. Who else across the college football landscape can say that? Exactly, nobody. TCU absolutely has the best profile top to bottom. They do. Granted, non-conference, they played at Colorado, who's just piss poor. I'm sorry, they are. But still, they traveled and played a fellow Power 5 team on the road, and they have a very solid victory at SMU, who's a very, very good non-Power 5 team. So TCU, guys, they may not win convincingly. Maybe sometimes they even win a little ugly, but all they do is win. They're like DJ Khaled. All they do is win, 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 no matter what. That's it. So TCU, I think, even if they lose one of their last 3 games, 2 regular season, and then the Big 12 title game, I still think they should get into the college football playoff, guys, because nobody is going to be able to say, look at these profiles, look at these data points. No one's going to be able to top what TCU has accomplished. They're just not going to be able to do that. So that's number 5. Number 6, my last hot take. I always share one for our black and golds. This week it's for Missouri. Missouri, currently sitting at 4 victories, will win out and qualify for bowl eligibility. I'm going to buy that, guys, because A, I think they will, but B, they absolutely need to, especially for Coach Eli Drinkwitz there. And I like Coach Drink, guys, but there is a lot of talk, and I think it is gaining a lot of momentum about, hey, the guy can recruit, but he may not be a good coach or the coach moving forward. And I sure as hell hope Missouri doesn't decide to move on from him. But if they don't get bowl eligible, guys, that talk and that sentiment is only going to grow. I mean, and here's what they have left. They host New Mexico State this week. The Fighting Jerry Kills should be and gonna be a victory. And then they host on Black Friday an Arkansas team that is really struggling. I mean, they're right now 5-5, okay? I mean, so that game on Black Friday could be potentially bowl eligibility for either team. And they absolutely, I think, can handle Arkansas, especially if quarterback Jefferson for Arkansas is not playing. So I think Missouri will win out to get bowl eligible, but they really have to for Coach Drinkowitz's sake. And plus two, Missouri's had so many chances this year, guys. I mean, 2 weeks ago, they let one slip away at home to Kentucky, who is overrated. I mean, Vanderbilt proved that, and I'll talk about them here in a little bit. But then earlier this season, we all remember what went down at Auburn. I don't want to bring it up more. And then outplaying Georgia for 3.5 quarters and not being able to finish the job at home against the Bulldogs. They've had chance after chance, guys. So I think they will win out. I truly believe that because of the schedule, but they have to. All right? So that's my buy, sell, or hold for this week. Let me know. Like, share, comment. What do you think about those hot takes? Agree, disagree? Would you like me maybe to add or present something next week? Just let me know. Now let's move into one of my favorite segments. Let's go ahead, I think. Do you hear that? That can mean only one thing. Let it play. It's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. I know what I'm playing with. All right, guys. So this is the good, the bad, and the ugly from week 11. Let's go ahead and start with the good, and I'm going to get a little bit excited here. For the team, I got to go with the UConn Huskies. I mean, what a big-time story this is. Over the weekend, UConn upset Liberty at home 36-33 as a double-digit dog. You see what I did there? Dog, UConn, Huskies. See what I did? So as a double-digit underdog, and in the process, guys, UConn became bowl eligible. They are now 6-5, and guys, they're going to have a chance to get to 7-5. Next week they play Army. That's a winnable game for them, which means win or lose their bowl game, they then would have a winning season. Who could have guessed this about UConn? And kudos to first-year coach Jim Mora Jr., the former coach at UCLA. I mean, in his first year, he's got them bowl eligible, playing inspired, solid football. And this is their first time bowl eligible since 2015. And here's the thing. In a year littered with historical stories and accomplishments for several teams, examples are Kansas, which 2 weeks ago, got their 6th victory, their first time bowl eligible for the Jayhawks since 2008. Well done, Coach Lance Leipold. That's a great story. James Madison over the weekend, they won, got their 6th victory, their first year in at the FBS level, and here they are 6-3. Well done to the Dukes, but that stupid rule, they may not be able to participate in a bowl because you have to wait 2 years after making the transition from FCS to FBS. That is absolute bantha fodder. Get rid of that rule, NCAA. Air Force, 2 weeks ago, they defeated Army. And I say this because I didn't mention these a couple weeks ago. Air Force, 2 weeks ago, defeated Army. They captured the CCT, that's right, the Commander-in-Chief trophy, and they possessed the trophy for the first time since 2016. But UConn leads the pack. See what I did there? Pack, dog, Huskies. But they lead the pack. They are absolutely the best story this season in all of college football, guys. I know Tennessee fans, all you fans who are saying this and that, like, oh my goodness, TCU, Iowa, even after where we started, and here we have a chance to win the Big Ten West. But this UConn Husky team, guys, they are the story of the 2022 college football season. They just are. No one's going to be able to eclipse them. They are finally back out of college football purgatory, the laughing stock for so long. They don't have a conference. They're an independent. They didn't play football for a year or two, I believe. recently, and here they are bowl eligible. What a great story for UConn, guys. So they are absolutely the good, and I'm absolutely going to pick UConn this week to beat Army, because how can you not? Now, guys, let's switch gears and go to the bad. I've got to say the bad is the Oklahoma Sooners, guys. I mean, Oklahoma lost to West Virginia over the weekend, which is their first loss ever at Morgantown, West Virginia, by a score of 23-20 on a walk-off field goal. With that loss, Oklahoma's now currently 500. They're 5-5 on the season, and bowl eligibility, guys, may not be reached. I mean, they host Oklahoma State this weekend in this year's edition of the Bedlam rivalry game, one of my favorite rivalry games, by the way. And then they travel to a very much improved, feisty Texas Tech squad. I mean, first-year coach Brent Venables came home, left what he had, the dynasty he created at Clemson as their defensive coordinator. Tough sledding for first-year coach Venables there back in Norman, Oklahoma. And the one thing that really surprises me, I mean, this guy is a defensive guru, right? But then again, that side of the ball, the Oklahoma defense has been completely absent and inept. Listen to some of these numbers. In some losing efforts, they've given up 41, 55, 49, and 38 points. And in one victorious game, they gave up 42 points in a victory over Kansas. I mean, I don't know. I mean, can anybody fix the woes defensively of Oklahoma? That was always the knock on Lincoln Riley there, why they can never get over the hump. But can he fix once and for all the defensive issues there at Oklahoma? So Oklahoma, I'm sorry, very proud program, a blue blood, blah, blah, but you're the bad from week 11. I'm sorry. And now finally the ugly from week 11. And guys, I have feasted on this individual here this season on the channel, and I'm going to continue to do it. So pardon me if I do get a little animated here and excited, but the ugly is the Texas A&M Aggies. Texas A&M, guys, lost 13-10 over the weekend to lowly Auburn, and in doing so, they extended their losing streak to 6 games while falling to 3-7 overall. The Aggies are not going to go bowling, and here they still have 2 games left. They play the UMass Minutemen this week. Hooray! And then they host LSU. So could they end up with 8 losses? Absolutely. And the reason why I'm doing this is, you know me. I am not a fan of the biggest fraud in college football. That is Coach Jimbo Fisher. And the fraud has been completely exposed. There's no way he can hide behind curtains or closed doors anymore. This guy is a fraud. He has absolutely bamboozled you, A&M Aggie Nation. He has. I mean, sure, he did get the #1 recruiting class last year, and that #1 recruiting class may end up paying dividends. I mean, maybe they make an SEC title run in a couple of years or a playoff berth. That could happen. But still, is it acceptable to have 7 losses and probably more as the $90 million man, the amount of money you're feeding and forcing down his throat? Are you happy with that, A&M Nation? Is that acceptable to you? I would hope not. I really, really would hope not. But then again, if you're not, you know what? You need to be. You need to be accepting of it, because you know what? You allowed this to happen, A&M. And I know the average Joe, average Jane had nothing to do with it. But then again, you did. You could have spoke up and said, you know what? We're not going to pay this guy that kind of money. We're not going to basically hand him the keys to the Cadillac and give him complete control, which he has at your program. He's got your program by the cojones. He does. And he's not going anywhere. I mean, all of you should have expressed your opinion, and you should express your frustrations right now on the president, the AD, the board, the committee, whoever. So, but you need to accept it because you had a part of this. You allowed this to happen. And with him signing that kind of a contract, that was the first of these brand new astronomical coaching contracts and salaries that we're seeing. He's the one who opened the floodgate. He opened Pandora's box, and you all allowed that to happen. So, and right now, the history has its eyes on you, like they say in Hamilton. You opened the floodgates. You're to blame for this. You set the bar for these contracts. And now there's a lot of talk about potentially trying to buy him out, to dismiss him, to move on. Guys, that ain't going to happen. What, I think his buyout is like $82 million. That just ain't going to happen. And quite frankly, it shouldn't. I'll say this right now, and I know I'm going to ruffle a lot of feathers, and please, I want to hear from some A&M fans. I've heard from none of them all year. If you know one, tell them to check it out. I want to hear from them. I'm not meaning any disrespect. I'm not trying to rub you the wrong way, but you know what? If you guys actually decide to buy him out and send him on his way, then that's even more pathetic than signing him. Because you know what? You made your beds. Now you need to lay in it. You need to ride it out and just deal with the embarrassment. Because that would be more embarrassing to give him that kind of money. Here you go. Make it rain and then send him on his way. So you will deal with it. You have to. So if you're going to be embarrassed, you're going to be disappointed, do it, because buying him off, quite frankly, is very cowardly. It just is. To me. And also, he is the program killer. I mean, ask Florida State. They've never recovered there as a culture. They haven't. I mean, Willie Taggart paid the price. Mike Norvell might pay the price for that culture being completely toxic and ruined when he left them like a thief in the night, just stopped recruiting at Florida State. So yeah, I mean, the guy, he's a fraud. But he's getting paid, so good for him. So that's the ugly. And I want to hear from A&M Nation. Please, an A&M fan, I want you to respond. Please, I want to hear from you. I want to get this banter, a good conversation started. Get your take on it. So that's the good, the bad, and the ugly from Week 11, guys. Now moving on to our final segment today. It is the 3 cheers from Week 11. Like I said, these under-the-radar stories, accomplishments, efforts, performances, victories that have to be given a little bit of publicity and some shout-outs, some love. My first cheer from Week 11 has got to be the Vanderbilt Commodores. Anchor up. Congratulations. They defeated a ranked Kentucky over the weekend, who is overrated, and I've been saying that for a couple weeks, in Lexington, ending their SEC conference losing streak of 26 straight SEC losses. Congratulations. They scored with under 1 minute remaining to guarantee victory. Congratulations to Vanderbilt. I hope you guys partied like it's 1999, like Prince or the Symbol would say. So for you, Vanderbilt Nation, Commodore Nation, players, coaches, for you, I say, enjoy it. Take it in. Well done, Vanderbilt. My next cheer, I got a couple of individual cheers to give. Now remember, the record breaker's coming up, but next, got to hold on. Before that is quarterback Jake Haener. That's right. Welcome back to the Fresno State Bulldog quarterback. Earlier this year, he suffered a nasty injury versus USC. He was out for multiple games, but since his return, guys, to the Bulldogs, the Fresno State has won 3 straight games, and currently they sit on top of the Mountain West Division. And if you missed it, I mean, Jake Haener, I projected him to be my non-Power 5 player of the year. I think he is one of the best quarterbacks in all the nation, not just at the non-Power 5 level. So welcome back, Jake Haener. And his numbers, guys, he's still throwing for 300-plus yards every game. He's doing what he does. He is a stud, and I expect him to be on an NFL roster next year, just like last year's player of the year at the non-Power 5 level, to me, was my guy, Bailey Zappi, with the New England Patriots. who should be the starting quarterback. He should be. So that's my second cheer of the week. So for you, Jake Haener, welcome back, and I'm glad to see you're still executing at the highest level. For you, take a bow. Jump around. That's right. Now my final cheer of week 11 goes to the record breaker himself. I'm talking about Troy linebacker Carlton Martial. That's right, not Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the Carlton Dance. Not that Carlton, but Carlton Martial, Troy linebacker. Against the Army over the weekend, guys, he recorded 22 sacks, 2-2, which is itself amazing. But then again, Army, all they do is run, so it does present the opportunities. So he recorded 22 tackles against Army, but in doing so, he etched his name permanently in the annals of NCAA football glory. With this outing, he broke the NCAA record for most career tackles with 546 in a single career. So the new career tackles leader in NCAA football belongs to you, Carlton Martial of Troy. Congratulations. Now, some of you might say these numbers are skewed. He's a sixth-year senior. He's played in 56 games, but I don't care. Numbers don't lie. No matter what, Carlton, you are the best leading tackler in history. You have the stats. You have the record to prove it, and no one can take that away from you. Congratulations. And guys, in case you missed it, also preseason during my bold predictions episode when I predicted TCU would get to the Big 12 title game and Tennessee would defeat Alabama, I also told you about Mr. Marshall, and I did predict he would break this record as well. So once again, kudos to yours truly. You know, I may not be the smartest guy, but I do know a thing or two about this great game. So for you, Carlton, dance the night away like you know what you're doing, like you're having a good time. And I say to you, congratulations. To the victors go the spoils, and you are the best in history. The loudest one for you. All right, guys. Well, that's my episode for today, my Week 11 review and recap. Please subscribe, smash the button, click it, comment, like, share, let me know what you think. I want to hear insight from you, every college football fan base out there. I can't wait to hear from you, and as always, thank you for all that you do for the channel, your support, your time, your attention. None of this is possible without you. So as usual, I thank you, Sammy Sosa style, because my Cubs, another off season, coming off another bad losing season, but there is possibility for the future. There's always hope. So guys, I will be back tomorrow night for a very special episode. I'm going to have an instant reaction to the updated Week 3 college football playoff rankings. So expect that maybe about an hour to an hour and a half after the rankings come out. I'll let you know what I think about the top 10, if I agree or disagree, who I think is overrated, underrated, should be rated, should not be rated. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out tomorrow night. So until then, guys, thank you for all you do. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. And thank you for joining me on this episode of the Touchdown Black and Gold Vlog. See you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.